Your younger love is waiting for Christmas to speak with you, and what no one has told you is that this message might arrive in the simplest way, yet touch a deep place in your heart. Little signs, coincidences, memories, feelings, as if the angels wanted to prepare you for this Christmas. Dear soul, breathe deeply, very slowly, like someone opening a window from the inside to let the air come in calmly. Today, the angels bring signs and a type of care that the celestial guardians offer when they realize a human heart is about to experience something that stirs the memory, the hope, and the desire to be seen again. The signs coming to you do not usually happen by chance. There are indications that a younger love might be waiting for Christmas to talk to you, not because there is a date marked in destiny, not because it is written in stone, but because Christmas has this power. It gives a social reason, a lovely pretext, an excuse that does not expose them too much. And for certain people, an excuse is the perfect bridge to cross over shame, pride, or doubt. Have you noticed how, at this time of year, people become more sensitive? Some become more affectionate, others more nostalgic. There are people who spend the whole year being firm, controlling what they feel, looking after their image, and suddenly, when the street changes color, when the old songs reappear, when families gather, the heart loses its armor a little. And it is in this type of atmosphere that someone might think, now I can do it. Now I have a reason. But there is something very important you need to know before we continue. What I am going to reveal next is not about waiting for someone, like someone standing still. It is about you being prepared on the inside, without losing your peace. Because, dear soul, you have already lived through so much. You are not an emotional child. You are a being who has matured, learned, fallen, and risen. And you do not need any love to feel complete. But you also do not need to deny the sparkle that is born when someone looks at you with admiration. And here is a gentle truth. A younger love often brings a feeling of vitality. It isn't just ego. It is life pulsing. It is that reminder that you still have presence, you still have charm, you still have conversation, you still have energy. And the angels do not condemn this. The angels do not look at you with judgment. They look at you with tenderness, as if saying, yes, you deserve to feel alive. You deserve to feel joy in your chest. You deserve to be treated with affection. Only at the same time, the spirit guides are careful. They do not want you to fool yourself. Nor do they want you to close yourself off. They want you to walk with clarity. And that is why this message arrives like a hug and like a lantern, to light the way without scaring you. Write this mantra in the comments. I deserve a love that brings peace and joy. And if this theme touched you in a special way, I offer you a loving invitation. Share in the comments, even if it is just with one word, what you have been feeling at this time of year. Here, we are not alone. And if you are not subscribed yet, press the subscribe button to receive these messages whenever your heart asks for a bit of direction and comfort. Dear soul, Christmas does not need to be a time of anxiety. It can be a time of presence. It can be a time when you look in the mirror and recognize, I am here. I have value. I have history. And if someone appears, let them appear with respect. If no one appears, you remain whole. Because the angels do not hand you a promise, they hand you a foundation. And the foundation is, you deserve peace in love. Beloved soul, now I'm going to guide you in a very simple, very human way. Just the way the celestial guardians like, without complicating things, without pressure, without that weight of, I need to get it right. Here, there is no right and wrong. There is only a fit, and when it fits, you feel it. Sometimes it is a calm that settles in the chest. Sometimes it is warmth in the face. Sometimes it is just a this is it that needs no explanation. You will hear two paths today, Michael and Raphael. And I want to remind you of something important. You are not choosing your destiny. You are only choosing where to start listening. If at any moment you realize, this has nothing to do with me, that is fine. This does not mean the message failed. It just means that this part is not yours right now. And there are people who, curiously, Feel that both paths speak to different parts of the same story. So if you want to listen to both afterwards, you can, with lightness. Now, how to choose? I will give you 3 ways, and you use the one that feels most natural to you. The first way is simple. I will say, Michael, in my imaginary voice here, and you observe your body. Just that. If a sensation of firmness comes, of security, of I need clarity, it might be Michael calling. Then I say, Raphael. If a sensation of relief comes, of tenderness, of I want peace and light conversation, it might be Raphael calling. The second way is to think of colors just for a moment. Michael usually arrives as a bluer tone, more of protection and presence. Raphael usually arrives as a greener tone, more of care and putting things back together. It isn't a rule, it is just a symbolic way to feel. The third way is to remember the word that grabs you most when you think of this person who might get in touch at Christmas. Is it security? Is it longing? Is it respect? Is it curiosity? The word you choose can push you towards a path. If it is something linked to boundaries and clarity, Michael. If it is something linked to healing and understanding, Raphael. And before we open Michael's path, I want to make a small energy adjustment with you. A sweet adjustment, but powerful, because it transforms the way this message arrives in your life. It places you at the center of your peace. Now write in the comments, 444, to claim it. This number is like a reminder of stability, of support, of protective presence. And I will tell you why I like it here. Because when a younger love reappears, a mixture of feelings can come with it. It doesn't need to be confusing, but it can be intense. And intensity asks for a foundation. It asks for solid ground. It asks for serenity. The 444 is a way of saying, I am supported, I am steady, I do not lose myself. And my dear soul, let me ask you something with affection, in a very sincere way. If this message touches your heart, and if you feel that this is a space that does you good, consider supporting us by pressing the Super Thanks heart button. It is a gesture from someone who says, continue. This support helps to keep this little corner of light alive, bringing more welcoming messages to people who also need to breathe on the inside and feel accompanied. Now, let us enter Michael's path. I want you to imagine Michael as that guardian who does not shout, does not weigh you down, does not scare you. Michael is firm, but he is gentle. Michael does not turn you into someone cold. Michael turns you into someone clear. And clarity, for a mature heart, is a form of love. The signs I am going to bring now are like clues about the person who might speak to you at Christmas. Notice that I am not going to keep putting you inside a box. I am not going to say, you are this, you are that. I am going to speak about the patterns of this other person, the way of approaching, the way of holding on to feelings, the way of choosing the right moment. Because you have already noticed, haven't you? There are people who spend months quiet, and suddenly, on a special date, they appear. Sometimes they appear with a simple phrase, almost innocent. Sometimes they appear with a Merry Christmas, so polite it seems neutral. But behind it, there is intention, there is will, there is the memory of how you make this person feel. And here enters a very beautiful point. Younger people often admire your posture. They might admire your way of speaking, your stability, your sense of life. They might admire your experience, your charm that needs no effort. Only they do not always know how to deal with this in a mature way. Sometimes they retreat out of fear. Sometimes they disappear out of insecurity. Sometimes they come back when they find an acceptable reason. Christmas is one of those reasons. So, in Michael's path, we are going to observe 5 signs. First, what is the strongest quality of this person today? That which you recognize easily. Then, what is their blockage? The point that gets in the way of direct contact. Next, how you crossed paths, or in what type of scenario this connection was born. Then, what was left in the air between you, that which was not said in the right way. And lastly, how the energy is between you now, in this moment. And with every sign, I will keep Michael by your side, helping you to see with sharpness, without exaggeration, without fantasy. Because the goal here is not to romanticize, nor to cut anything off. It is to see with serenity, Before starting the first clue, I ask you a simple question, just for you to locate yourself. When you think of this person, is the sensation more of peace or more of restlessness? You don't need to answer me. Just answer inside yourself. That answer is already a sign. Now yes, come with me into the first sign of Michael's path. What I am going to show you next can clarify a lot about why this contact is being saved for Christmas. But I want you to come calmly, because clarity arrives better in a tranquil heart. Dear soul, now we are going to enter, truly, into reading the signs of Michael's path. And I want you to receive this like someone holding a light in their hand, with firmness and calm. Michael does not come to make you anxious, nor to put you on exaggerated alert. Michael comes to bring you clarity, that clarity that does not wound, it only organizes. And here is the agreement. I am not going to claim that something will happen. I am going to show you clues, like someone pointing out footprints in the sand. You observe, feel, and keep only what fits naturally. The true sign makes no noise. It just matches. The first sign that Michael shows is about the most striking quality of this person. There is an energy of internal movement, like someone who lives looking at tomorrow, who likes to imagine possibilities, who gets excited with ideas and plans. Sometimes it isn't an organized plan, one of those with everything just right. Sometimes it is just a good restlessness, a desire to grow, to experiment, to change phases, to live something different. But there is a flame, there is life, there is will. And why does this matter for our message today? Because people with this energy usually choose a symbolic moment to reopen conversations. Christmas becomes a milestone, an emotional turning point. It is as if the person thinks, now it makes sense, now it is appropriate, now I have a reason to appear without seeming like I am invading. And along with this, there might exist admiration for you. There might exist respect for your presence, for your way of speaking, for the maturity of your heart. Sometimes the person feels that you bring a type of stability that they are still learning to build, and this can be very attractive. Now comes the second sign, and Michael places this as loving care, not as an accusation. This person's blockage has to do with consistency. It might be someone who takes a long time to reply, who disappears, who reappears at specific moments. It might be someone who has difficulty sustaining the same energy in day-to-day life. Sometimes because they live with a busy mind, sometimes because they get tangled in their own routine, sometimes because they feel a lot and don't know how to organize what they feel. And when the person doesn't know how to organize, they hold back, they swallow it, they stay silent. Then they look for a safe date to send a message that doesn't seem too intense. Christmas offers this. Christmas gives a ready-made phrase, and behind that phrase, there might exist a heart trying to gather courage. This second sign can also appear as resistance to exposing oneself. The person thinks, rethinks, rehearses, deletes, writes again, and doesn't send. And then, when Christmas arrives, they feel they can send something polite, something that fits the moment, something that doesn't give everything away at once. That is why Michael calls you to observe, with affection and attention, if this person usually feels a lot, but holds back for fear of losing control. The third sign speaks of how this connection started, or the type of setting where you crossed paths. Michael shows two very common possibilities. The first is a social environment, like a celebration, a get-together, a casual meeting, a place with people, the noise of life all around. Sometimes the contact started light, almost without intention, and then became an important memory. The second possibility is a moment of emotional transition for one of you, a time when life was changing on the inside, a period of vulnerability, of ending something, of reorganization, and in these moments, we record in our memory who brought a good feeling, even without promising anything. That is why, for this person, Christmas might be a key to rescue what was pleasant, what was striking, what did good. Now, the fourth sign is the one that many people feel, but few manage to put into words. Something was left in the air. It might have been a noise, a long silence, a conversation that stopped in the middle, something that wasn't explained properly. And this doesn't always mean bad intention. Sometimes it was omission due to insecurity. Sometimes the person didn't say everything because they were confused with their own life, or because they didn't know how to sustain the intensity of the bond. Only, even when the intention is not bad, the lack of clarity leaves marks. And Michael, with firmness and respect, reminds you that stories that return need to return with more truth than the last time. It doesn't need to be a heavy conversation. It doesn't need to be an interrogation, but there needs to be more sincerity in the air, because that is what protects your heart. And here comes an important detail, dear soul. Not every return is to get back together. Sometimes the return is to close things with peace. Sometimes the person just wants to free themselves from an internal weight, wants to align, wants to apologize, wants to leave the energy light. And this can also be a gift that doesn't trap you, a gift that releases you. The fifth sign speaks of the current state of the bond between you. Michael shows that there might exist distance, but there is connection. It could be that you are not speaking. It could be that contact is rare. It could be that polite silence exists. Even so, there is an invisible line, those memories that appear out of nowhere, that intuition that nudges, that feeling of, I don't know why, but I feel something is coming. And I tell you this with great care. This is not to leave you waiting. It is just to make you aware. You can continue your life, live your day, look after yourself, and at the same time recognize the sign without losing yourself in it. Now I am going to hand you a special sign, like a good anchor for your day. The celestial guardians like to use simple symbols to remind you that you are supported and accompanied. The angels are sending you a special sign. Your lucky number for today is 7. Write in the comments, I receive the light and energy of the angels. My lucky number is 7. I send love and protection to the person I like and love very much. Beloved soul, now we enter the point that stirs the heart of many people the most, and I am going to guide you with the gentle firmness of Michael's path. Why does someone choose Christmas to appear? Why not send a message on a normal day? Why keep this contact for a date that has so much emotion involved? Michael shows that, for some people, Christmas works like a social bridge. The date gives permission. The person feels they can approach without seeming invasive, without seeming like they are asking for too much, without exposing themselves in an uncomfortable way. It is as if Christmas lent a reason, a beautiful pretext, and this pretext turns into courage. And there is another layer. Dear soul, Christmas wakes up memories. Not only memories of relationships, but memories of presence, of affection, of moments when the heart felt seen. Scents, music, lights in the street, old photos, the way people speak at this time. All of this stirs emotion. And when emotion becomes more alive, the person remembers you with more intensity. Sometimes they remember because you represent lightness. Sometimes they remember because you represent safety. Sometimes they remember because, close to you, they felt valued. So, they choose this moment to say something, even if it is simple, even if it is short. Michael also shows that, at this time, routine changes. There are people who travel, there are people who visit family, there are people who have more free time, there are people who feel more longing, and this creates opportunities. The person might be closer physically, might be around in the same city, or might be living a period where they feel more open to resuming contacts. Sometimes Christmas is just the moment when the person finds space to breathe, and upon breathing, realizes they want to speak to you. And now I am going to reveal something to you with great care, because this is a point that protects your heart. The intention behind a message can come in layers. Sometimes the person starts with something neutral, almost too polite, as if they were testing the ground. A Merry Christmas might be just the door, and the door is not the whole house. The door is the beginning. Michael teaches you not to confuse a step with a commitment. A message is a sign of approach, but it is not proof of consistency. It is not a promise. That is why the safest posture is to receive with serenity and observe what comes next. Michael points out some possible reasons that might be behind this contact, and I will speak of them as possibilities for you to feel which one fits without effort. It could be longing, pure and simple, for good moments. It could be a wish to reconnect, to break the silence and start talking again, without necessarily knowing where it will lead. It could be a desire to redeem oneself, like someone who realizes they left something unresolved and wants to align, apologize, organize things on the inside. It could also be the person seeking emotional comfort in a season when they become more sensitive, more nostalgic, more in need of affection. And here Michael asks you for attention, not to distrust everything, but not to give more than you receive. And I like to say this very clearly, beloved soul. You can be gentle without erasing yourself. You can be polite without giving up respect. You can reply without rushing. You do not need to prove anything to anyone, and you do not need to explain yourself too much. Michael is very simple on this point. If contact comes, you first listen to yourself inside. Before replying on the outside, breathe and feel. This brings you a type of protection that no one can take away. Ask with sincerity. Does this bring me peace or does it bring me anxiety? Does this make me feel light or does it make me feel small? Does this person have a history of consistency or do they appear only at specific moments? Because, dear soul, Christmas can bring a beautiful energy, but it can also confuse. The atmosphere can be enchanting, but what sustains a story are actions over time. Michael always reminds you of this with affection. Receive the gesture, but observe the continuity when the streetlights dim, when the routine returns, when there is no longer the pretext of the date. And I do not say this to cool your heart. I say this to warm it in the right way. A matured heart does not need to close itself. It just needs to walk with lucidity. And lucidity does not take away the charm. Lucidity only prevents regret. You can allow yourself to feel joy for being remembered, for being sought out, for being admired, and at the same time keep your feet on the ground. This is the balance Michael offers. Now, I want to give you a practice that is a huge gift for this season, regardless of whether any message appears or not. Because often, what leaves us vulnerable is not the person who appears. It is what got stuck inside us over time. Little knots in the heart, little hurts, little guilts, little things that weigh us down without us noticing. And this practice helps to let go and breathe better. Write in the comments a list of people, including yourself, that you would like to forgive. Visualize each one of them. Send love and say, I forgive you and set you free. May peace be with you. Feel the lightness and freedom that forgiveness brings. Repeat this practice every day to strengthen your inner peace and release anxiety. Beloved soul, on Michael's path, the message is this: if contact comes, may it find you whole, firm, respected, without haste, and without the need to prove yourself. May it find you with your heart open to what is good and with gentle boundaries for what does not do you good. Beloved soul, now we are going to follow Raphael's path, and I want you to feel this change of energy like a caress that calms the chest. If Michael helps you to place limits with serenity, Raphael arrives as that guardian who clears the air, softens tensions, and opens space for a conversation that is more human, simpler, lighter. Here there is no hurry, there is no test, there is no dispute. There exists a care that organizes feelings and returns you to a place of peace. And I am going to show you 5 signs, the same way we did before, only now through the healing gaze of Raphael's path. I am going to talk about the other person, their way of being, their way of approaching, their way of holding what they feel. And you will notice if it fits. It doesn't need to fit everything. Sometimes a single phrase is the confirmation you needed. The first sign is about the most striking quality of this person. Raphael shows someone with a sharp mind and direct posture. It is the type of person who does not like long detours. They might speak little, but they are usually truthful in what they say. They do not always express themselves with romance. They do not always make a big scene, but when they decide to speak, they speak with firmness. Sometimes they even seem too serious. And here is the detail. This person can be affectionate. Yes, only they demonstrate it in a discreet way, like someone who cares without making an announcement. Instead of promising, they make a small gesture. Instead of declaring, they appear. Instead of convincing, they observe. And when they choose Christmas to speak, often it is because this date allows for a greater delicacy without the person feeling they are losing control. The second sign is the blockage that can confuse. Raphael shows that this person's image usually deceives others because they are more reserved, because they speak with objectivity, because they maintain a firm posture. Many people interpret this as coldness, as arrogance, or as if this person thought too much of themselves, and this might have created noise between you. But Raphael explains with sweetness that in many cases, it is not lack of feeling, it is protection. It is like a shell that was built so no one touches what is sensitive. So, instead of saying, "I missed you," this person might send a Merry Christmas that is almost neutral, as if it were just politeness. Instead of admitting vulnerability, they keep themselves serious. Instead of asking for affection, they pretend they don't need it. And that is where Christmas becomes an opportunity, because Christmas makes kindness more acceptable, more natural, easier to offer without fear. The third sign speaks of how you crossed paths, or the type of context that gave a start to this story. Raphael shows an energy that might have been electric right from the start, and not necessarily calm. It might have started with friction, with a difference of opinion, with a light teasing, with that feeling of, "I don't know why, but this person moves me." Sometimes it was in an environment where comparison exists, competition, a battle for attention, or simply an atmosphere where two strong personalities meet. It could have been at work, study, a course, a project, or even a social meeting where each one was trying to maintain their posture. And chemistry, when it is born like this, usually leaves a mark, because the heart records it as something unforgettable. Even when there is distance, that trail of presence remains, as if the person couldn't completely erase what they felt. The fourth sign is about the emotional history, and Raphael shows this with a lot of honesty and a lot of compassion. This bond might have been tiring not from lack of feeling, but from excess of shock. Approach and retreat, connect and disappear, understand one day, argue the next. Sometimes pride gets in the way. Sometimes stubbornness weighs heavy. Sometimes one wants the other to yield first, as if yielding were losing. And Raphael does not place blame on you, does not place blame on anyone. Raphael only describes a dynamic common when two wills are strong. But at the same time, he shows the side that holds on. There is enchantment, there is attraction, there is a will to be close. The heart recognizes something, even when living together asks for maturity. And then Christmas might arise as a moment when the person thinks, "I want peace, I want to relieve this tension, I want a different beginning." The fifth sign speaks of the present, of how the energy is now. Raphael shows that often on the outside everything is correct, polite, neutral, as if you maintained respect and a boundary. It might be little contact, it might be basic contact, it might be cordial coexistence. Only inside there is guarded emotion. And when the present gets like this, Christmas becomes a perfect scenario for someone trying to disarm the atmosphere with delicacy. A simple message can be a way of saying, "I want peace," or "I want to talk in a lighter way," or "I don't want this to end heavily." And the real intention, beloved soul, we will understand in the next step, because it isn't just about appearing, it is about what the person is seeking with this contact, and how you can receive this without getting confused. Breathe with me once more, because on Raphael's path, the focus is not tension, the focus is healing. And healing here does not mean giving yourself away. Healing means positioning yourself with serenity, opening space for dialogue when it is good, and maintaining dignity and self-love always. And now that you have already seen these signs, we are going to enter the part where Raphael shows why Christmas is the chosen moment, what might exist behind this message, and what is the lightest and safest way to cross this with your heart at peace. Beloved soul, now I want you to imagine Raphael very close to you, like a celestial guardian who holds your hand and says, calmly, "Let us understand this without haste, without fantasy, without fear." Because the big question here is not just if a message arrives. The question is, why does this person choose precisely Christmas to speak? And what might this gesture mean in a simple, human, and possible way? Raphael shows that Christmas is a time when people become more accessible on the inside. Even those who are closed off, even those who have pride, even those who usually act as if nothing moves them, end up becoming more sensitive. It is as if the date opened a crack, and a crack is already enough for someone who had been holding back the desire to approach. Christmas gives a reason that seems light, polite, acceptable. The person might think, if I send a message now, it won't seem like I am invading. It will seem just like a beautiful gesture, and this reduces the fear of rejection. Raphael also shows another layer, quite important, that many people recognize when they stop a little to feel. Christmas wakes up memories with force. Sometimes it isn't even about a whole story, but about a sensation, a conversation, a laugh, a look, an atmosphere. The person remembers how they felt close to you, and this can be the trigger to say something. It is as if the heart spoke louder than strategy. And here I make a point of saying with affection, remembering you is not wrong. Being touched by you is not wrong. What matters is how the person is going to sustain this afterwards. Raphael's path usually shows that when someone chooses Christmas to speak, there exists a desire for peace mixed in there. Peace in the sense of relieving the air, reducing tension, lowering the guard. You know, when there is that feeling that a competition was left in the air, or pride, or a stubbornness that got in the way. Christmas can be seen as a chance to restart the conversation with another tone. Not necessarily to promise the moon and stars, but to say, I want to be okay with you. Sometimes the gesture comes with delicacy. Sometimes it comes with humor. Sometimes it comes with a short message, but loaded with intention. And Raphael shows the most common intentions of this type of movement. It might be that the person just wants to open the door, test if receptivity still exists, feel if you reply with kindness. It might be that there exists a true wish to get closer again little by little, resume contact, rebuild proximity calmly. It might be that there exists an internal request for forgiveness, a desire to align something that got stuck, so as not to carry weight forward. And it might be also, beloved soul, that this person is seeking comfort in this season, because Christmas stirs loneliness in some people, even when they are surrounded by people. I say this without judgment, merely as human reality. And here enters the most beautiful part of Raphael's path, because Raphael does not place you in a position of waiting, nor in a position of chasing. Raphael places you in a position of presence. If this person sends a message, you can receive it with politeness and with peace, and at the same time observe with serenity. You do not need to open yourself entirely in the first contact. You do not need to transform a message into a decision. You can reply with affection, but keep your center. And this is emotional maturity. This is self-care. This is self-love. Raphael likes to teach an internal phrase very much that changes the way we traverse reapproaches. He says this, I can be sweet without being fragile, and this is precious. You can be gentle without diminishing yourself. You can be receptive without rushing. You can listen without getting confused. You can talk without abandoning yourself. And if the person really wants peace, they will respect your rhythm. They will understand that presence is built with consistency, not with haste. There is one thing that Raphael also shows with much clarity. When a bond exists with that flavor of love and teasing, of tension and attraction, Christmas can bring a chance to disarm. The person might want to offer a white flag, not with a big speech, but with a gesture, a sincere compliment, a good memory, a small care, an attempt to start lightly, without competing. And if this happens, beloved soul, you can allow the moment to be good without promising the future. You can live the present as it is, with respect, and observe if, after Christmas, the person continues being a presence, or if it was just an impulse of the date. And I want you to listen to this with attention, because it brings comfort. No matter what this person decides to do, the angels want you to continue well. The angels want you to feel alive, whole. A contact can be beautiful, yes, but your life does not depend on it. Your shine does not depend on it. Your peace does not depend on it. You can receive with joy if it comes with respect, and you can carry on with serenity if it doesn't come. Now, I want to transform this energy into a chain of light, because when a message of hope circulates, it returns to the one who shared. Share this video with 2 dear people who are needing this message of hope and faith. Let us together build a chain of love and mutual support. Leave a comment with a prayer for your guardian angel. Dear soul, now I want you to feel Michael and Raphael very close, like 2 celestial guardians looking after the same heart from different angles. Michael with that quiet firmness that protects you. Raphael with that tenderness that calms and reorganizes on the inside. And the first thing I need to tell you, with much affection, is that you do not need any message to confirm your value. Your value is already in you, in what you lived, in what you built, in what you learned, in the way you traverse time without losing the capacity to feel. You are a soul that carries history, presence, and respect, and no one takes that away. At the same time, it is human, it is beautiful, it is natural to feel a sparkle when someone remembers you, when someone seeks you out, when someone looks at you with admiration. And the angels do not ask you to extinguish this sparkle. They only ask that you live this with awareness, like a joy that adds, not like a need that traps. If a message comes at Christmas, may it arrive like a gesture you can receive with elegance and calm. If it does not come, may you also feel well, because your peace does not depend on anyone's decision. If Michael's path made sense to you, keep this in your heart. Michael does not ask you to close the doors. Michael asks you not to abandon yourself. He reminds you that it is possible to be gentle without disrespecting yourself. It is possible to be polite without rushing. It is possible to talk without giving everything at once. Michael teaches you that clarity is affection, because clarity avoids confusion, avoids regret, and protects what is most precious, your serenity. So, if someone approaches, you can welcome them with tranquility and observe the continuity, because pretty words can move you, but constant actions are what sustain a story. If Raphael's path made sense to you, keep this too. Raphael does not push you into anything. Raphael invites you to relieve the weight that doesn't need to exist, to clear the air, to lower the guard of pride when pride only gets in the way, and to bring a more human tone to the conversation. Raphael reminds you that you can be sweet without being fragile, and that healing often is not running back nor running away. It is just allowing things to express themselves in a more respectful, lighter, more honest way. If the person sends a message and comes with an intention of peace, you can receive it with kindness, and if you feel it is good, allow a quieter conversation without transforming a gesture into a promise. And now, I want to bring you the center of everything, dear soul. This message was never about someone having or not having the courage to speak to you. This message is about you feeling alive, present, whole. Because there are people who spend years being very strong, very correct, very responsible, and forget that living is also feeling, is allowing yourself a smile, is remembering your own charm, is recognizing that energy, beauty, and desire for affection still exist inside you. And if a younger love awakens this sensation, this is not a reason for guilt. This can be just a gentle reminder that you still have a shine, and that this shine deserves to be treated with respect. So I want you to take from here a very clear foundation. If the message comes, receive it like a gift you can open slowly, not as urgency, not as proof, not as something that forces you to decide anything. Open it in your time. Observe how you feel. Notice if the contact brings you peace or restlessness. Notice if there is respect, if there is care, if there is consistency. And if no message comes, you do not lose. You do not become smaller. You do not become invisible. You continue being who you are, and you continue deserving love, attention, and joy. If you want to observe signs in a light way, without superstition and without anxiety, just as gentle confirmations, notice simple things that might appear around you. Sometimes a song that plays repeatedly and leads you to someone. Sometimes a social invitation that arises out of nowhere. Sometimes a sensation of calm when you think of this person. Sometimes a memory that comes accompanied by peace, not tightness. And even if you notice signs, you do not need to become a hostage to them. You just prepare yourself on the inside. The angels do not put you in a waiting room. They put you in life. They remind you that you can carry on living with presence, with dignity, and with self-love, and that what is good will find a way without hurting you. Now I want you to take a small pause and feel your heart, like someone placing a hand on their chest and saying, in silence, I am here. I have value. I deserve affection. I deserve respect. I deserve peace. And may Michael protect you in your clarity, and may Raphael envelop you in his care, so that you walk lightly, without fear, without haste, without losing yourself. Write in the comments, I choose peace, and receive only what does me good. If this message touched your soul, consider supporting us. Subscribe to the channel, be part of this community of light, and contribute so that the celestial flame continues spreading. Come back whenever you need. You are not alone. Thank you for watching, and until the next video.